Why this is so unique and so different is because right now, we do not have this in our community. We don't have sustainable growth. Talk about exposure, and we talk about education, and we talk about the healthy alternatives to that. That's what Ryan's really pioneering right now. It changes the landscape where we're independent and we're actually having an opportunity to create our own food source. Selling the idea that this could be a financial windfall for everyone. And not only that, but also could be a windfall for our children. Gives us an opportunity to healthy living, healthy way of thinking, a healthy way of developing our communities and our families. And unfortunately, there's people who don't want to see that happen.
We're in the worst probable zip code in Atlanta, 30318, especially the highest in inmate rate. But now we've learned that if we do this, if we're going to do this, we got to make sure we bring the kids in, incorporate the kids with it, and find out which kid or which ones that like urban farming.
I've been a resident of Cascade and the Southwest Atlanta community for about 13 years. I'm a proud resident. I think they're wonderful people here, and I intentionally live in this community. Probably the most obvious things about this particular neighborhood is that even though you have wonderful people with great careers and the median income is comparable to other areas of Atlanta, it is still classified officially as a food desert.
You know, the kids, they weren't eating unless they came to us. And the food that they were eating, found that they had a term for their favorite snack, which was Happy Crack, as they called it. It's just a bag of sugar and other powdered, types of drinks and things like that they would mix together with other candy. And this was what they were consuming all day. So through that work, we met some people who introduced aquaponics to us. Ryan ran with it.
If you look behind you, you will see what we call an ecosystem. And just like when you go to a lake, if you've ever been to a lake, you see a plant floating across the water, like how did that get there? That's what aquaponics is. So that plant that you see floating is actually getting all the nutrients it needs to grow. In an ecosystem, one organism lives off the other. So the fish that we have here, we're gonna get to in a minute, creates the production for all this.
So what the aquaponics system does is it reduces the amount of square footage. It also has no pesticides, so it's very healthy, fast to grow food, and the best thing is 90% of the water is actually recycled.
And then when it swishes back around to the fish, what do you get? Clean water and oxygen. right? So the plants go through their photosynthesis process, take what they need, and then give the fish back clean water and oxygen.
And so we're using this thought process to be holistic, it's very compact, and it can produce jobs. On the other spectrum, it's educational piece. So we can use this for kids like the YMCA to come out and say, hey, let's learn about biology and ecosystems right now. Let's learn about the digestive system, because you eat fish, you eat plants, and really get their diet into loving fresh foods because they're not exposed to it.
From seed to table, as they call it, it takes about 45 days. So this process here is non-traditional, as they say, because of course plants usually grow out of what? Soil. But as you see here, you have water. So all of these plants are sitting in water. And what do you see there? Roots. So that means that this plant isn't suffering from receiving nutrients.
Potential impact of aquaponics on this community and the nation is immeasurable, because individually there's so many parts and pieces that someone can bring their talents to. From a business perspective, you're bringing food, you have a way to source food without having to till the ground and actually be a traditional farmer. You can be an innovative farmer, a farmer for the 21st century.
Greatest part about the aquaponics is you could grow things in season, out of season, and out of region. What that does is it put money back into the food bank and to the youth center. But most of all, it ministers to the community at large.
Georgia born, Georgia bred. Where else would I attend school? Clark Atlanta University. This is where it began. Back in those days, I walked these same streets. Had class in the B school over there. I had class in Sage Baycoat over there. Kind of like some long days, just depending on who the professor was, especially those Tuesday and Thursday classes, like an hour and 40 minutes. One of the major components of attending Clark Atlanta University was something that I learned. Number one, culture for service, and two, I'll find a way or make one.
So Clark Atlanta University is an historically black college or university, an HBCU, and it really was a place where we both went. We didn't just go, we grew. And you learn so much about the black experience, black history, black culture, and then what it means to be excellent as an African American. So we had professors there that really believed in us and really helped us to connect our gifts and talents with our longer purpose, and then taught us how to navigate in the community and as professionals.
Clark University has students that are going to figure out a way to get it done. A lot of grit and a lot of talent.
Heroes that already exist within our Grove Park community and the greater Atlanta community that have a passion for seeing their community restored and sustainable.
We can give our kids opportunities. They can go well beyond what we even can imagine.
The gift we're trying to give our youth here in the community is we can teach you how to fish, but we want to teach you how to own the pond.
That's a big reason why we invested in Ryan. Giving people power back over their bodies and education to know that what you're putting in your body is often poisoning you and crippling you from being the best version of yourself.
Aquaponics, I think it's something that we can replicate very easily, something I want to continue to be an ambassador of and introduce to young adults so that you guys can spread it around schools, communities, families, because we got to get to a point where we understand sustainability and self-sufficiency, and this is both of those. This is something that can put us in a better, healthy lifestyle choice than what we typically do. So it's not going to just, of course, change overnight, but gradual steps we can get there.